The following contest is a submission match. On the way to the ring, from Palatka, Florida, Michelle McCool. And the opponent, from Los Angeles, California, Melina.
A big bienvenue to our fans around the world from Montreal, Quebec. Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler.
And folks, let me assure you that tonight's show is a lot better than JR's French. Sheesh.
Well, there's no question of that, King. These Montreal fans are ready to get started, and so am I. So what are we waiting for?
I don't think these superstars have any intention of taking it easy on each other tonight.
That's not what they signed up for, King. And quite frankly, I think these fans would be disappointed if they didn't go all out.
Well, that's easy for the fans to say. They've never set foot inside that ring.
No, but they spend their hard-earned dollars to watch what goes on inside it. And without them, we'd all be out of a job.
You can look at any professional sport you want, JR, and you won't find more incredible athletes than the WWE superstars.
You're not wrong, King. They compete every week until they are physically incapable of continuing. There's no off-season in the WWE.
We're not talking about running a ball down a field or slapping a puck into a net. This is serious physical competition.
It sure is. The toughest athletes in the world are on the WWE roster, and that's a fact.
I think these superstars are getting some feedback from the crowd, JR.
Nothing wrong with that, King. That's what we like to hear. This match is going to continue until someone's completely debilitated. And considering the resiliency of these superstars, that's not going to be easy.
That's for sure. No one in this match is going down without a fight.
And I wouldn't expect any less from them, King. Like them or not, you've got to respect the tenacity of each and every WWE superstar.
This has gone beyond just being a match, JR. I think these superstars genuinely hate each other.
There's no love lost between these competitors, that's for sure. Come on! That should be a disqualification right there!
What are you talking about, JR? I didn't see anything. Wow, JR. I think they've got something to say to these superstars.
And if they're smart, they'll listen. Remember, without these fans, these superstars are out of a job.
After some of the things we've seen in this ring, JR, I think we'd better remind the folks at home not to try this stuff themselves.
That's for damn sure, King. The WWE superstars are trained professionals.
And even...
I guess a little sportsmanship is too much to ask for.
I guess so, JR. But where's the fun in that?
I've feeling that this has all the makings of an instant classic.
That's probably just gas.
Would you look at that? A blatantly illegal maneuver. That should be a disqualification.
You might be right, JR, but I don't hear the ring bell. This match is still going.
You know, I bet you could have been a straight A student. She's looking to end this.
Oh my gosh! And that spear might do it!
You've got to be in seventh heaven, Kingfish. It's not often we get to see Melina in action like this.
You know it, JR. I can never get enough of Melina, but I'd sure like to try.
I tell you, King, I've got no earthly idea. No! No! How can the referee allow something like that?
Come on, JR. You know that the referee's half plan doesn't include vision. You know where this is going.
I sure do. She might have broken her opponent in half with that spear.
Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths are going to cross sooner or later, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those corny expressions of yours. What the heck is a government mule anyway?
It's what you get beat like. We're in the middle of a slobber knocker. And if you don't have the guts to stick around, you might run like a scalded dog with a case of the liver tape.
All right, enough! I'm getting a translator before I have to come out here with you again. I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're right, King. These superstars seem intent on taking each other to the limit.
I love that attitude, JR. Go big or go home.
Well, these superstars sure aren't going. This capacity crowd is solidly behind their superstar. Look at this.
Wow, could you be any more biased, JR? How about some fair and balanced commentary? I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's gonna go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective, JR, but I'd have to get my head out of my rear end first.
And Lord knows it's been up there for so long that would be no easy feat. Well, you can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy about she's got her opponent in position, and I think we know where this is going.
We sure do, JR. There's that signature face buster of hers.
Look at this! Look at this! You talk about a house of fire, you're seeing it right here!
Yeah? Well, somebody better put out that fire, or this one's not gonna end well.
Oh boy, the adrenaline is pumping. I think this could be the beginning of the end.
No, it can't end like this! Come on, do something, quick! Michelle's supposed to be a teacher, but I bet I could teach her a thing or two.
Well, my friend, you do have years of experience. I'm talking years, and years, and years.
Oh no, this is terrible! You can't let your opponent build this kind of momentum.
Well, all I can say is someone's been eating their vitamins and saying their prayers.
I don't think that these superstars have even contemplated the fact that they might lose.
I'm sure they have. That's not the kind of attitude you come in with and expect to pick up the win.
You're right about that, JR. If you can't see yourself having your arm raised by the referee when it's over, don't bother showing up. Well, from the looks of things, it's not hard to tell how this one's gonna go.
What are you talking about, King? I think this is still an extremely competitive match that could go either way.
You know, JR, it's obvious that the only exercise you get is stretching the truth or jumping to conclusions.
Well, judging from the shape I'm in, I don't appear to be doing too much of either, King. You're looking pretty fit, though, I must say. Melina's such an amazing young talent, and what a rag. What a great addition she would be to the women's championship picture.
I can't imagine there are many things you could add Melina to that wouldn't make them better, JR. I can think of one or two right off the top of my head.
Yeah, and if I know you, King, you better keep them to yourself. This is a family program.
If any superstar shows the slightest hint of weakness, they've lost the match.
That's for sure. No matter how beat up you are, you can't ever let your opponent know the extent of your injuries.
And that's easier said than done, JR. The human body can only absorb so much punishment.
I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted just watching these superstars compete.
I know what you mean, JR. I don't think most people appreciate what incredible athletes these WWE superstars really are.
You've got to have some excellent conditioning to be able to do what they do.
Well, oh man, that's gonna change the tone of this match, JR.
Yeah, and not for the better either. I wish the ref would actually pay attention to what's going on.
Oh no, I think she's going in for the kill.
And there was no way her opponent could get away from that face buster. Sounds like this crowd's got something on their minds, King.
Who cares about them, JR? Look what's going on in the ring.
I'm not so sure this one's about winning or losing anymore. I think it's become more personal than that.
Of course it's personal, JR. Anytime you step into the ring with someone who wants to beat you down in order to win the match, it's personal.
I guess I can't argue with that, King. I just wonder if they'll be able to settle their differences in this match, or if it's going to wind up bigger than that.
So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
But you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself if it's all the same to you, King. I'll be honest with you, King. This is not the way I thought this match would go at all.
Me neither, JR. I guess that just goes to show that anything can happen in the WWE.
I think you hit the nail right on the head, King. And it's that unpredictability that makes it so exciting.
I talked to these superstars backstage before the match, and I don't think I've ever seen competitors so ready to get it on.
And that's coming through loud and clear here tonight in this match. They're not taking it easy on each other either.
It's been said a million times, but I'll say it again. This isn't ballet. Ruthless aggression is the name of the game.
I think Michelle McCool's out to teach her opponent a lesson here tonight.
I wish I could get a little one-on-one tutoring from Michelle.
You know, it would be worth it if she could teach you how to hold your tongue every now and then.
I bet there's a few things she could do that would leave me speechless.
I think this crowd's what a disgusting display. I guess a little sportsmanship was too much to ask for.
What they say, all's fair in love and war, JR. And those two sure don't love each other.
What an incredible performance by these superstars are in rough shape. Fatigue has set in, and I think this match could be over before you know it.
Boy, Melina's one of those divas you just can't take your eyes off of, JR.
You certainly can't, especially if you're the referee. You know it's only a matter of time before this Jezebel tries to take advantage in this matchup.
You say that like it's a bad thing, JR. I wouldn't mind if she tried to take advantage of me.
I'll tell you what, King, the WWE superstars are about the greatest athletes you'll find in any sport, period.
What do you mean, just about, JR? Can you actually think of anywhere else that you can see athletes of this caliber?
I was just going for a little humility there, King. I'm not surprised it was lost on you.
I don't remember teachers being as hot as Michelle McCool when I was in school.
Well, that was before the invention of the electric light. so you probably just couldn't see them very well.
Make fun all you want. There's nothing you can say that will ruin my mood. Not while I'm watching Michelle in action. I wonder if SmackDown's gonna have anything nearly this good next Friday.
I think we both know the answer to that one, King. How could they compete with a match like this? A lot of blood, sweat, and tears have been shed in that very ring.
And I think there's gonna be a lot more shed here tonight.
No doubt about that, King. These superstars are going to leave it all in the ring. You can count on that. It's an unusual treat to see the bodacious Melina in active competition. She's typically known as the brains behind superstars like Johnny Nitro.
That's a little disrespectful to Nitro, isn't it, JR? Are you saying that he'd be lost without her?
I'll borrow one of your lines, King. All I'm saying is that if brains were dynamite, I don't think Nitro would have enough to blow his nose.
Well, brains or not, he's smart enough to keep Melina by his side, so he can't be all that. I'd be surprised if this didn't end soon, JR. I don't think there's enough left in the tank. You believe we actually get paid to do this job, JR?
It's like a dream come true, King. Except when I have to sit here and listen to you drool over the divas.
Come on, JR. You know I'm helpless when it comes to puppies.
Oh, I know, King. And that's why I'm bringing a bit of ice water out here with me next time.
I think these superstars have a legitimate beef with each other, JR.
So do I, King. I'm not so sure their issues with each other are going to be solved with one match.
I hope not. I'd love to see them go at it again and again. Oh boy, you might want to close your eyes, JR. This one could get ugly.
You're damn right it could. It could get bowling shoe ugly. And that's what this business is all about. It's not ballet, you know.
You gotta respect the commitment and the dedication of these superstars. This has been one heck of a match, JR, but I think the end is in sight. These superstars are running on fumes.
Oh man, I think we're about to see a high-risk move here. This is Raw action at its finest. That's why Raw is the #1 brand of sports entertainment.
You got that right, JR. You're not gonna see this kind of action on SmackDown.
Not on SmackDown or anywhere else. There's nothing else out there that can come close to the excitement of seeing the Raw superstars perform live. Oh, would you look at that? That was completely uncalled for.
It's not cheating if you don't get caught, JR.
You're damn right it is. It comes from the price of admission. I'm sure these competitors have studied each other very carefully.
This match would be over by now if they hadn't, JR. You never get into the ring without doing your homework.
That would be a recipe for disaster for sure, King.
These superstars are beating the heck out of each other, and this crowd can't get enough of it.
It's what they paid to see, King, and they're getting their money's worth tonight.
They sure are, JR. There's no question these superstars are earning their paychecks. I know these superstars want to keep going, but I don't know if they're going to be able to for much longer.
These superstars are going to put each other through wrestling hell tonight.
They've already got a pretty good start on that, JR.
They have indeed, King. I don't think there's an ounce of quit between them.
Yeah, that's where things get dangerous. If you're too proud to admit that it's not your night, you might wind up risking your career for a single match.
But at the same time, King, no one makes it up the ladder without pushing themselves to the very limit. It's a very fine line to walk.
Yes, That was an incredible move. What strategy?
Strategy my Oklahoma ass. That's cheating, plain and simple.
I love it. Rules are like bones, made to be broken.
Well, I think it's pretty sad when you have to sink that low to win a match.
Wow. Listen to these fans, JR.
You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all the people some of the time, but there's no fooling the WWE fans at all.
Man, is there...
I don't know how much more of these superstars have in their tank, King. I think they might be running on fumes here.
I wonder how long these superstars will be able to keep this up.
They'll go as long as they need to, King. And if they can't, they won't be having their arms raised after the match. That's for damn sure.
I can't remember the last time I saw superstars this fired up. I don't think they've even considered the possibility that they might not win this thing.
There's an awful lot of pride on the line here, King. No one in that ring wants to have to go back to the locker room as a loser. Michelle McCool is one of
Did you see that, JR? What great strategy.
Strategy, hell! That was a blatant violation of the rules!
Oh, boy. These fans have got something on their minds, JR.
Well, they paid for their tickets, King, and they've got a right to say whatever they want.
It's matches like this that make this the greatest job in the world, JR.
Absolutely, King. Did you see that? Ring the damn...
Here's your winner, Michelle McCool.